Om Sahanam Bhavatu Sahanam Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Together we chant Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, verses 1 to 10.
Arjuna uvacha prakritim purusham chaiva kshetram kshetrajñameva cha etadveditumicchami jnanam jneyam cha keshava Shri Bhagavanuvacha idam shariram kaunteya kshetramityabhidhiyate etadyo vetti tam prahuhu kshetrajña iti tadvidaha kshetrajñam chapi mam vidhi sarvakshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetrajñayorjnanam yattajñanam matam mama tatshetram yacchayadrikcha yadvikari yatascha yat sachayo yatprabhavascha tatsamasena me shrinu ऋषिभिर्बहुधा गीतम् छन्दोभिर्विविधैः पृथक् ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः महाभूतान्यहङ्कारः बुद्धिरव्यक्तमेव च इन्द्रियाणि दशैकं च पञ्चचेन्द्रियगोचराः इच्छा द्वेषः सुखं दुःखं सङ्घातश्चेतना धृतिः एतत् क्षेत्रं समासेन सविकारमुदाहृतम् अमानित्वमदम्भित्वम् अहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यमात्मविनिग्रहः इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहङ्कार एव च जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधिः दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम् असक्तिरनभिष्वङ्गः पुत्रदारगृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु
Are we truly Jnanis or not? Are we people who can be considered to be people of knowledge? can only be known if we have these qualities. And it's quite an interesting sort of comprehension of knowledge itself. Suppose nowhere over here does it talk of any specific knowledge, if you notice. So you may be a good doctor or a good architect or a good anything. You're a great chef, a great mathematician. There is nowhere he talks about your capacity for your knowledge itself. Because in the Indian way of thinking, your knowledge is always proportional to your virtues. You cannot, absolutely cannot claim knowledge when the virtue aspect is missing. For instance, Shakuni was a very smart guy, right? I mean, he played the whole game with Krishna about this whole Mahabharata war. But would you ever call him a Jnani? The concept of knowledge is ingrained in us because it's part of our culture. Knowledge is always related to virtue. If you hear of all the sages of the past, all the philosophers of the past, they're all referred to as rishis. Whether it was even Charvak is referred to as a rishi only. Everybody, whether you're doing Ayurveda or you're doing um, surgery, everybody's a rishi only in this country. Have you noticed? Everybody who was supposed to be well versed in a subject was always known as a rishi. Because mere knowledge in that subject doesn't make you a jnani. You have to be a wise person with it. That's what makes the difference. Now, this sounds like a very old and traditional way of putting it, but we can also put it in a very modern way. The modern or contemporary way of saying it is all your information will make you a data idiot if you have no idea how to apply that information. That information which you have the capacity to apply, where does that capacity come from? It comes from the person you are. Everybody goes to the same IIT, but not everybody does the same. Everybody goes to the same medical college, but they don't do the same. And there are people who don't go there at all and can do better. Isn't it a strange indictment on our education system that people who are not educated can do better than the people who are educated? Otherwise, if our education system was so great, every PhD should have done better than every postgrad, should have done better than every graduate, who should have done better than everybody who just did school level. But that's certainly not true. So, what is that? It is the person you are. Now, saying person you are doesn't help anybody. What person? And where is the training to be that person? So that's the Bhagavad Gita's training, to be that person. So what do you become? Yes, told you all these various things. This, if you have, you will gain the clarity which knowledge is supposed to give you. If you don't have this, you do not gain the clarity which knowledge is supposed to give. Because at the end of the day, what is knowledge? It's only a way of gaining clarity. That's all it is. There's nothing else to it. So we did various qualities. We were, excuse me, we were at stadium. Stadium is steadfastness. Steadfastness is the capacity to stay firm in the pursuit of something. you will find that most people do not achieve things because they do not stay with one thing. Every day they want something new, something different. As a consequence of which, they never become very good at anything. Like we hear stories, of Tansen, what a great singer he was. And then we hear of people, another thing, Kalidas, what a great author he was. We hear all this stuff. When we look today, we don't see that kind of caliber. Because of what? People have not been educated about the quality of steadfastness. You stay with it. If you want some, what should I say? Something deep, you'll have to give something deep. It cannot come from superficial knowledge. So you find, even people who know their subject, they cannot give you an overall picture of anything. It becomes difficult actually dealing with people who are so-called experts, and everybody makes fun of them, which is sad because they really do know a lot. Only thing is they don't know how to synthesize the whole thing. So, stadium is the quality of staying with something. Even in class, right? Suppose we take a snapshot of today's class and we take a snapshot of last year, same Saturday class. How many will be the same? And of course, we do it again the next year. Steadfastness is a quality of knowledge. Why is steadfastness associated with knowledge? Can you understand that? Because steadfastness has to do with cause and effect, or more correctly, with the comprehension of cause and effect. Suppose you know that I am planting the seed. This seed will take 5 years to grow, and I have to do X, Y, and Z for those 5 years. If you are clear about this, you will either decide to plant the seed and go with it for 5 years, or you will decide not to plant the seed. Because if you just plant it and you're not going to make the commitment of 5 years, nothing much is going to happen. It takes 5 years to grow this tree. So you say, oh, okay, I can't touch this now because I can't make that commitment. Or you make the commitment and you stay with it. So the moment you begin to understand these things, suppose you start making a cake, you understand that I need 1 hour or 2 hours or whatever you require to make a cake. You will start making that cake only if you have that 1 or 2 hours. Otherwise, you will not have a cake at the end of it. You will have a gooey mess at the end of it because you could not stay long enough to make that cake. That is what happens. So once you have knowledge, steadfastness becomes the natural calorie. If you were not making your commitment to that amount, you simply wouldn't have taken that up. Imagine you start many people do a startup nowadays and they hope to become a unicorn. Now, you know what a unicorn is, right? Everybody's clear what a unicorn is. So they want to become a unicorn. Okay, great. So first thing you will have to know in your own head is what is this distance from startup to unicorn? How many years is it? And am I committing to that many years? Otherwise, it's not reaching there. So steadfastness, staying with things. Not staying with things in the way we stay with them. Yeah, it's very good, karna chahiye, not like that. But staying with the effort of it, the daily effort of it. To want to look pretty, everybody wants. To stay with the daily effort of doing that, now that nobody wants. How is it going to work? Everybody wants to be slim and healthy and bodybuilding or something. But the daily grind of doing it, that's called steadfastness. For that, we require Atma Vinigraha. Graha means to hold, Gruha, hold. Vinigraha. Very well held. What are you holding so well? Normally, we are holding everybody else so well. We've trapped people in their relationships with us. Hang on, hang on. Atma Vinigraha. You held on to yourself very well. What is holding on to myself very well? In English, it's a very sort of non-poetic translation of self-control. You are in control of yourself. It's like you're in a car and you're in control of the car. This control of the car is useful only if you have somewhere to go. There is no self-control without a goal because it's a bit pointless. What's your self-control for? People say, should you drink? Should you drink alcohol? Does Gita say you shouldn't drink alcohol? You should or you shouldn't drink alcohol or eat non-veg food or anything. Should you? The answer to that question, should you drink alcohol, is entirely based on
Your goal?
Why are you drinking that alcohol?
very good. Your goal. Absolutely, your goal. What are you trying to do? Then you will know whether you should drink alcohol or not. I'm trying to wine and dine people so that my business grows. No, you'll have to drink it, or at least fake drinking it. One of the two you'll have to do. I noticed that at these banquets, sometimes you have to go to a banquet, and at the banquet there are all the toasts that go on and on and on. So some people, I would say wise people, but anyway, some people, they put water in their glass. They have 25 toasts. Every time you do one, take one toast, 25 sips of that thing. How are you even supposed to remember what to say after this thing is over? So some wise people put water in their glass and they drink their 25 toast. Prithwij, you want to ask a question? Go ahead. No. I can't hear you at all.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Janki ji, I just want to ask one thing that you said without commitment, you cannot have a goal, or without goal, you cannot have a commitment. So my question is, can I have a goal of like having peaceful life? Can it be my goal for life?
No, unfortunately not. Because that is not something you can strive for. That is something that has to come as a byproduct of something. The moment you say, my goal is to have peace. So if you're married and your wife makes a big fuss that she wants to buy something, you'll give in because you want peace. But whatever she wants to get may not be good for her, may not be good for the finances. Similarly, for the child. Similarly, your neighbor. Similarly, Pakistan. Every decision, your goal, how you set your goal is very important in life because based on what you're going to set, you're going to take every decision. Now, if you take every decision based on the fact that I will get peace, that's asking people to walk all over us.
Oh, okay.
That's not a goal we can have. What we can have is a higher goal, a higher idea. And peace is the consequence.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, So self-control means that you are keeping yourself under control because you're trying to achieve something. For instance, if you're trying to achieve a good relationship, a fulfilling relationship, there are often times in life you just have to do that much. Just put your finger on your lip, nothing, not a word from your mouth. Self-control has to do with what are you trying to control yourself to achieve. Sometimes you need to speak. Sometimes you need to keep quiet. Sometimes you need to go all aggressive. Sometimes you need to be Anji sir, Naji sir, 3 bags full sir. But you have to have control over yourself to do it, right? You cannot say, he did that and she did that and my thing didn't work because he did that. It's nonsensical. Many times people will tell me, oh, we couldn't do this because that person did that. What do you mean that person did that? If I have control over myself, somebody else doing whatever they are doing is not affecting my goal. I am in control. For instance, um, the book has to be launched on 27th, right? I mean, it is the launch date. Somebody will come and launch the book, but the printer has to deliver the books. We don't have the books with us yet, right? So we cannot come to the launch on 27th and say, oh, the printer didn't deliver the books, right? Therefore, you have to work backwards. How much time do I have to give him? How much follow-up have I got to do? How much have I got to get on his case and bug the hell out of him? I have to do all these things. Because when I do what needs to be done, other people will not have the power to throw me off my track. So self-control, unfortunately, many people take as I don't drink, I don't eat, I do upavas, I do this, I do that. These are not bad things, they're good things. But they're training tools. They're not the real thing. The real thing is that I will do whatever it takes that I don't interrupt my process to my goal. I'll simply not do anything that will interrupt my process to my goal. Atma Vinigraha. Visheshen. Fully controlled. That is why in Amar Chitra Katha and all, you'll see it as this, there's this saint or something. He's trying to become a saint and then he'll stand like this with his hand over his head and he'll stand in the forest for 25 years or something like that. Basically, what are they trying to say? That they will do whatever it takes. But then some people, unfortunately, don't understand that, and then they also go and stand with their hand on their heads. See, it makes no sense if you think about it. How by standing with your hands over your head are you going to achieve anything? Makes no sense, right? So we have to understand it poetically. In the sense, this person put in all the effort that was required to achieve the goal that he had set for himself. And that long explanation was for verse 8. So I hope you remember all the qualities he's given in verse 8. Yeah, Bharat.
So, Jankiji, for steadfastness, we said that it's the understanding or comprehension of cause and effect, right? And which is knowledge. So it's like expecting a commitment from a person who doesn't know. So, is there a dichotomy here?
I didn't understand. Why would there be a dichotomy? Why would you expect a commitment from someone who doesn't know?
You are expecting a person to know before he knows.
How?
He doesn't have knowledge at the moment. So how is he supposed to comprehend that this path is going to lead to all these virtues? And
He's not going to know this.
so,
Remember, we're doing the 20 qualities of a Jnani. These are the qualities of a person who has knowledge. We are not doing the qualities of those people who don't have knowledge.
Yes, true. But what would be the starting point then for a person who doesn't even know that this is the path which is going to lead to all the virtues? And how would he make that commitment?
Nobody knows the answer to that question, Bharat. Nobody knows the answer. Why is it that happens? I wish I knew. In which case, we could have done whatever it takes. But I don't know. Nobody knows. I told you, right? Rama asked Vashishta the same question. Why do some people take it and some don't? And Vashishta said, you throw seeds. Some take sprout and some don't. What can you say? So why does a person start a spiritual path? Nobody knows. We can give many explanations, such as inspired by an idea, having a questioning mind, what shall I say, faith in the teacher. Many things could be triggers. But then they're not really cause and effect relationships because other people also have them. Some people say, the sorrows of this world. You meet so many sorrows that you finally decide, acha, theek hai yaar, dekhte hain what else there is around here. But that's also not true because often people have endless sorrows, but they still do not try to do anything about it. So, how do you answer that question? I don't know. If I knew the answer, I would definitely execute that answer because here is a knowledge that is beneficial to everybody, that everybody's going to make use of and make their lives wonderful and make the lives of everybody around them wonderful. But there is no way to convince people about this. Even after they have come to class, sometimes it is not possible to convince. So, I don't know. I don't know, but if you ever find out, let me know.
Not at all. I'm scratching my head. Thank you.
Momita, how was Ravan called a Jnani without having any of the virtues listed here? Ravana is not called a Jnani. By Jnani, what we're talking about is the Rishi, the people who really have the knowledge. Jnani is called in the very limited sense of he has a bunch of information. Now, the Sanskrit language being what it is a very flexible language. So, even in the Gita, you'll find the word Jnani sometimes used to mean somebody who's only involved in like information mongering. So nobody accepts him as a wise person. That's what I'm trying to say, like a really knowledgeable person. Like if you wanted to go and ask somebody for advice, Ravana is not the name that will come to your mind. Okay, in that sense, of somebody who knows what it is. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Raj, what is Jnana Yoga? Oh, what is Jnana Yoga? Raj, are you new to the class? Sorry, I did not check today if anyone was new. Raj, are you new to the class? The reason I'm asking is I have to know where to start the answer from. I can't see any Raj. Are you still here? Or you gave up and you went away? Here you are, Raj. Okay. Raj, are you there? Please do something so that I know I have to answer the question.
Yes.
Okay. So what is Jnana Yoga? Are you familiar that there are 3 yogas?
Yes, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnani.
Okay, but you're only asking for Jnana Yoga.
Yes.
So a human being has got 3 equipments, a body, mind, and intellect. Okay, with his body, he can do Karma Yoga to improve himself. With his mind, he can do Bhakti Yoga to improve himself. And with his intellect, he does Jnana Yoga to improve the quality of his intellect. Now, what is intellect? Intellect means discrimination. So improving the quality of your intellect means improving your discrimination. Discrimination is improved by knowledge, but not knowledge alone. As you reflect upon the knowledge more and more, it improves the capacity of discrimination. Means telling two things apart. So the ultimate level of Jnana Yoga, or telling things apart, is the fundamental discrimination of what is permanent and what is not. Because if you get this one thing wrong in your life, you are down a completely wrong track. There is the story of a bird who built its nest on the sands. And then when high tide came, it knocked that nest down and the bird was crying. Now, why did all this happen? Is it because nature is so mean to us and God is so mean to us and, that poor little innocent bird, how can you torture it? When you are bird-brained, you build your house on impermanent factors. You build your stability on impermanent factors. Since they are impermanent, they eventually fail. Means they show their impermanence by going away, breaking down, whatever, and leave us in a bad state. So therefore, when discrimination works very well, you know what to place my stability on. What am I supposed to do? What am I not supposed to do? So Jnana Yoga in one line, as defined by Adi Shankaracharya, is Nitya Viveka Vicharam. The reflection on the discrimination between what is permanent and what is passing. Is that okay, Raj?
So what is the process of Jnana Yoga? How can we realize by this path?
The process is study and reflection. You have started the process by Shravana, which means coming to class, listening, studying. Then you start doing thinking on that. You start doing manan. So attend classes, that's step one. Or read books or whatever method of Shravana you wish to employ. That's how you do it. And then you think about those things. It is the manana, the thinking, the reflection that will bring about the change in the personality and the comprehension of the knowledge. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Prithvij. Today I understood the importance of having a goal in life, real goal, and not like a goal like peace of mind. Importance of consistency and perseverance. Thank you. I'm thinking and not able to find goal of my life. Okay, always wanted peace. Yeah. So yes, so it's always difficult to find our goal, Prithvij, because it is a many-step process. The first step in finding our goal is to first understand our own nature. And then within the scope of that nature, have some goal. For instance, if you are business, what do you do? Are you a student? Are you working? What do you do?
Hello, am I audible? Am I audible? Okay, so I'm a banker, I'm working.
Acha, okay. So I'm assuming before you took up the job of being a banker, you thought to yourself, understood your nature, understood that your interest is finance, and so therefore sought occupation in the field of finance. Now, this, when you do, you are following what is known as your swadharma, your nature. All right. But just being a banker won't suffice. You have to ask yourself, why am I a banker? What is the greatest value I can give from here? In what method or manner is my being a banker of any consequence or value to the world? So once you figure this out, you will have your goal.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Very long thing. What is it? Raj. Yeah, Raj. So when you have all these quotes, they're very nice, but Jnana Yoga is reduction of information taking and increase of reflection on that information. Because, we are a very, very old civilization, a very, very old culture. There is an ocean over here because through the ages, thousands and thousands of people have thought about this knowledge and told it to us. Now, you can read any book, but take that book and stay with it. Not one day I'm reading Ashtavakra Gita, one day I'm doing Gita, one day I'm doing Uddhav Gita. Take one book and stay with it. Just stay with it. Give yourself at least 5 to 10 years with that book if you want that book to have any influence in your life. Because they're all going to say exactly the same thing. But you have to learn it from somewhere. No? So, verse 8 gave us many good qualities. Amanitvam.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a very basic question, but I'm still struggling with it. Body, mind, intellect, karma, bhakti, jnana. So mind is more subtler than the body, and the intellect is subtler than the mind. Why then we as seekers of jnana are given emphasized karma yoga more than bhakti yoga?
You have a good question, but the reason it is, firstly, it's not emphasized more, it is only executed more. Every time, all three yogas are spoken of, right? And before every class, we have bhajans. It's not neglected or not emphasized or not spoken about or not done. It's just executed more because karma yoga is always the easiest. See, you can spend how much time in bhakti or jnana in a day? You listen to bhajans for half an hour, 1 hour. Then what? What are you going to do? But karma, you can spend time with. And when you spend time with it, your mind goes in that direction. As your karma increases, your bhakti will improve and your jnana will improve. In fact, you could have even asked the question as sadhaks on the jnana marg, why are we spending more time with karma than we are spending on jnana? Right? Morning study, you are told at least 45 minutes to an hour. Have you been given any time restriction on how much karma you do? You want to do the whole day? Go ahead, do the whole day. So why do you not ask about jnana itself? The same reason is for bhakti.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so amanitvam, humility, no manam, no thinking about yourself. When you are dedicated to something, the thought about yourself does not exist. And therefore you have humility. Wherever your thoughts are, those are your values. Knowledge corrects values, and therefore your thoughts go to other things. Yeah, Komal?
In the last line which you said, ki amount of karma yoga, there is no limit for that. So I think it depends upon the age of the person, the kind of work he's doing, and in which stage he is. Like if he's in brahmacharya or sannyas, or what stage it in. So the karma yoga amount will be less or more according to that. Maybe according to the age, according to the mindset, according to the it's different for different people, and that's what I mean to
That
say.
would be true for bhakti and jnana as well. So it's irrelevant to the question.
Yes,
of the
yes. The amount of time given to all these will be different for different people.
Yes, but it's irrelevant to the question asked. The question is not asking how much time I spend. The question is was something else.
No, and not the question's answer I'm questioning. I'm just saying it that it is different for different people.
Komal, stop. The point is not relevant to the question. The question is, as Jnana Marg is, why are we given so much karma? That is the question.
Yeah.
Right. So that everybody will do karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga in their proportion is not relevant to the question, because the question is based on an advice.
Yes. Yeah. Clear. Thank you.
Adam Vidwan. No pretentiousness. You know how we can be pretentious? When we try to show ourselves better than we are in anything. Sometimes we try to show ourselves better than we are simply by not doing anything. Have you realized how that happens? You see, it's a what do you call it? This cooperative societies. Many people do not take part in that thing because they will say to themselves, "कि कौन इस झमेले में पड़ेगा?" Why? Because you want to appear very good to everybody. So you don't want to do that work. Because you know if you get into it, somebody's going to say something bad about you. This is all part of pretentiousness. Because in class, everybody will say, "Oh, well, I don't wear jewelry to show off. I don't wear branded clothes to show off." You know, we think only like that. We don't see how pretentiousness is working in our lives. So don't think of the ways where you're not pretentious. Think of the ways where you are pretentious, because that will be useful for our growth. Where have I done something or not done something because I'm concerned about somebody's opinion of me? Ahimsa, an attitudinal change of never wanting to harm anything, including the mosquito you kill. You don't wish to harm it. You would if you was any way you could protect the mosquito's life, you would. But if the choice is the mosquito stays and your family dies, then you will have to choose putting on the good night or whatever it is method you have chosen. So, ahimsa is the attitude of not wishing harm to anyone. Truth which, this is my first class, but in the last 30 minutes I realized the source of any philosophy explanation is from Gita. Yes, correct. This is because the Gita talks about eternal principles. Now, all we have to do is convert them to our daily life. When we read self-development or self-help books, somebody is taking something and converting it to our daily life. But if we reflect upon these ideas enough, you will see their direct connection with our daily life. And these are comprehensive. It's all the principles involved, not just one. There is one book, you know this question we often had, what is intuition? So there's one fellow, somebody gave me that book, he's written such a thick book on blink. Such a thick book. Nice book, a very nice book, but it's saying the same thing which we say in one sentence. And people say, "Oh, fantastic book." It is a good book. No, nobody is denying it's a good book. But it is only somebody explaining a basic idea. And once you get the basic ideas in your head, reading all this becomes kind of futile. Raj, man's life is conditioned by his prarabdha karma, whereas free will, purushkara karma. Raj, we are doing the qualities of the Jnani at the moment. So if you want to know the answer to this question, you could look at the YouTube channel. It has a question on, it has a talk on destiny versus free will. I think that's the name, destiny versus free will. I think isn't that correct, Bharat?
Yes, yes, it is. Destiny
Yes.
versus.
So okay, fine. So Raj, you can have a look at that talk. Then Bharat, inability to say no stems from pretentiousness. Good point, Bharat. Yes, often the inability to say no stems from pretentiousness because you're incapable of saying no because you're very concerned in how this person is going to view that no. You're not concerned in whether that no is good or bad for the person or for something else. Correct. Good example. Then Shanti. Shanti is forgiveness. Forgiveness is the simple quality of recognizing that each being functions according to his or her own vasanas. It's that simple. What will you have against a monkey? A monkey behaves in a particular way. I don't know now. In our building, apparently somebody took a photograph of a monkey sitting on the rails. Where this monkey arrived in Mumbai city and sitting on the rails of our building, I have no idea. But it arrived and it was sitting there. So, did all of us go and fight the monkey? What did we do? They put out the picture on the group, on the building group. Everybody in the building took the same action, which is
Forward the
Shutting down the window.
taking on
because you
Close
lost
the
the
window.
window. Everybody, right? Was anybody against the monkey? Did anyone fight with the monkey? Did anyone get angry with the monkey? It was a simple, commonsensical response. Just close your doors and windows. That's it. After that, nobody said anything. Somebody put a picture, everybody said, oh, is that so? Blah, blah, oh my God, whatever. And close the window. So simple, no? And why can't we do this all the time with everybody? You recognize their vasana. You protect yourself from that functioning of the vasana if required. And that's it, you're done. Uncomplicated. Arjava, uprightness. To do what according to you is right. What is right according to your gross intellect is your conviction, and what is right according to your subtle intellect is your conscience. So when we follow the conscience and the conviction, we be the person we are. Just be the person you are. It's not complex. Whoever you are, whatever you are, with your faults, with your virtues. Oh my God, how can I be this person? I've got so many faults. So you have only taken what the pura zimma faults come on your head. The rest of us don't have faults. अपने ही सिर पे क्राउन लगा दिया कि मेरे पास कितने फॉल्ट्स है. Is it my something? ये मेरा claim to fame है क्या? Who doesn't have faults? Who doesn't? Be yourself. Raj, what is the difference between knowledge and love? Should I be a jnani, wise, or premi, lover? Entirely up to you, Raj, but become one of them. It doesn't matter which one you choose to become. When you become one, you'll become the other.
Janki, I have written a question before that.
Oh. Some explanation, some explanation of how Arjavam is different from Adambhitvam. Arjavam is your capacity to live by your conviction, what you think is right. Adambhitvam is to not be pretentious in the sense that I think I want to impress you. Right? I mean, all the qualities will be somewhat overlapping. But Adambitvam is our desire to please or impress other people. Arjavam is our capacity to listen to our own conscience. In some cases, I mean, in some situations, Adambitvam will work. I mean, unpretentiousness will work. And in some cases, having Arjavam, uprightness, will be, it depends on what is the context. There is a certain degree of overlap because it's impossible that a person who's upright will be pretentious. It will never happen. But it's not necessary that if you have unpretentiousness, you will have arjava. The converse is not true.
So if you have Arjavam, you have Adambitvam.
You're more likely to have the others.
Okay.
Because Adambitvam covers only a small area, right? Arjavam is covering a much wider range. Deep Raj, could you please elaborate the difference between conviction and conscience, the subtle and gross intellect definition? I didn't get. Okay. So intellect means discrimination. Gross intellect is when you do this discrimination within the pairs of opposites of this world. High, low, tall, short, Gödel's theorem versus not Gödel's theorem. Okay. So right up to nuclear physics or any of that, all of that comes under gross intellect. Subtle intellect has only one job, a discrimination between the world and not the world. Only one discrimination it is capable of. All other discrimination is gross intellect. So when you follow what your gross intellect tells you, that becomes your conviction because you're doing something in the world. And when you follow your subtle intellect, that becomes your conscience because you're doing something that will take you out of this world. So your conscience is like a compass pointing north. So keep following, you reach it.
So we can have high conviction without having high conscience. That is a
Yes.
Madam,
Both of these need not be proportional.
Madam, but conscience shows you the way, but the execution is done by the gross intellect.
If necessary, if execution is necessary. Yes, correct.
and how does the subtle intellect even make so it just negates the world because it cannot have an affirmative statement about something beyond the world.
Yes, it can say not world, not this, not this, not this. Like for instance, take a simple example when you are about to, I don't know, steal something. So something in you tells you not this. I mean, there's some internal resistance, right? So it's basically rejecting. So when it goes very, very strong, and you're offered a Nobel Prize for mathematics versus reaching the self, and something tells you not this, not this. I don't want a Nobel Prize for mathematics. I want to reach the self. That's your conscience. I mean, not recommending that you refuse a Nobel Prize if you're getting it. Okay.
There's actually not a possibility because they don't give out Nobel Prizes for mathematics.
Okay, yeah, I remember. So what is the prize?
We have the Fields, yeah. We have the Fields Medal.
No, the Fields Medal. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So the Fields Medal or self. And you say no Fields Medal, only self. Right. So then where were we now? Archava.
Janki is listening to one's conscience is through gross intellect or subtle intellect, if you could
Subtle.
clarify. It is subtle intellect. Because that is conscience is transcendental.
I didn't catch the last sentence.
No, because you explained that subtle intellect is used to discriminate between the world and not the world. And not the world is transcendental. So when we're saying listening to one's conscience is not the world, it's beyond the world. Conscience is not in the world, it's beyond the world.
No. Everything that we do is in the world. Conscience is as much a part of the world as everything else.
But we said that we use subtle intellect.
Yeah, so but it is part of the world. It's part of the body mind intellect, no? It's an
Yeah,
intellect.
yeah.
But it has this capacity to take you out.
It has the capacity to take you out.
In spite of being very much in the world.
So conscience has the capacity to take you out of the world.
That's right.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah. It is firstly capable of making a discrimination. Only a human being can make a discrimination, right? World and beyond world. Like you can't ask an elephant.
Correct.
So that discrimination is a quality of a human being. Now, this quality can take us out of the world into the transcendental.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Acharyopasana, service of the preceptor. To do something for the source of the knowledge is Acharyopasana. When we love the teacher, when we serve the teacher, the mind is calm to accept knowledge. And when the mind is calm enough to accept knowledge, the knowledge blossoms within us. When you doubt the teacher, when you don't have love for the teacher, you don't have faith in the teacher, there's doubt of the teacher, then that agitates the mind and makes it difficult to take in knowledge. Shaucham is cleanliness. Externally, cleanliness means keeping your environment clean. In terms of actions, it refers to being unselfish. Pure actions means unselfish. In terms of emotions, shaucham, cleanliness in terms of emotions is a calm mind. No negative emotions, no agitations. Calmness of the mind is shaucham, cleanliness at the level of the mind. At the level of the intellect, dirt is indecision and diffuse thinking and confusion, and clarity is the cleanliness of the intellect. At the spiritual level, dirt is vasanas and cleanliness is removal of all vasanas, meaning self-realization. Sthairyam is steadfastness, meaning sticking to the goal that you have put up for yourself. And for that, you will have to say no to other things. And that is known as Atma Vinigraha, which is self-control. So this was verse 8. That is 9 qualities of the Jnani. Raj. Where there is inaction and action, and action and inaction, such a person is a yogi. Can you explain this sutra? I'm sure it's there on YouTube, Raj, so you can look at it under Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, or in the 20 sessions of the Bhagavad Gita also, since it's a famous verse, it will probably be there. Why is conscience not in line with conviction? Who said it's not in line? It is in line. But you can be stronger gross intellect than subtle intellect, in which case your subtle intellect is quiet. I mean, the gross intellect is stronger. The gross intellect and the subtle intellect are not proportional in growth. One may be more than the other. In Bharat, book launch announcement. So, okay, so you all know, right? Next Saturday, we are going to launch the book Yeah, here it is. This is the cover. I hope you like the cover. This is the book. It's being launched next Saturday, 27th. That means we will not have the Saturday morning class, and I hope to see you all at the book launch. If you're in Mumbai, definitely. If you're not in Mumbai, if you can come to Mumbai, then come. And we will have the launch. There will be all sorts of stuff happening at the launch. So it's about a 1 hour program from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock. If you all know anyone who is good to launch the book, then please get in touch with Bharat or Momita, and we can have some special person to launch the book. Okay, Bharat, did I say everything?
Yes, yes. We give
Good
them
luck
the
with the
tip.
launch, Janki ji. Good luck with the launch.